Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, May 31st, the end of the month. And yeah, thank you, Eyes, very much for the name suggestion for this talk. Today, we are Wendy's Dumpster Wednesdays. But as you know, we're not here to talk about Wendy's. We're obviously here to talk about AI, C3 AI doing crazy things. And I believe their earnings are today after hours. Someone correct me if I'm
That's
wrong.
correct. After the market close.
There we go. You guys, we should stream them. Stream it live. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, the only company I see of note this before open is Advanced Auto Parts. Not too familiar with anybody else.
Well, there you have it. Hey, Hardy.
The fact that C3 AI announced their generative AI product ahead of earnings suggests to me their earnings are not going to be particularly good.
Interesting. Is that suggestion strong enough for you to make a bet on it?
Not compared to the GameStop strangle I'm opening at market today. GameStop.
Ooh.
The
Sorry.
order earnings on June 7th. So I am buying a June 9 strangle at the money. Currently 24.50.25 strangle for $3 or less. I need to see how much implied volatility increases because of that announcement. As for C3 AI, earnings is today after close, and the June 2 implied volatility is through the roof. So you could probably sell $30 puts for a decent profit. Strangled ticker was GameStop, GME, Golf Mike Echo. Yeah, they shot up right to the gamma back, so that's not going to be good.
That might be the first time someone's used the phonetic alphabet to spell out GameStop's ticker.
Some people are new, and we welcome them.
I like calling it Jimmy.
Good lord. I will say it is faster to say, though. So, fair enough.
Correct, Yoko. I'm targeting $3 or less. That may change depending on implied volatility. I'm anticipating a run-up potentially up to 250, 300% implied volatility. Currently at 104 as of yesterday's close. So we'll see how much more meat is left on that particular bone. Interestingly, actually maybe I can make this work. 2450 is last sold for 175. 159. Charming style. The strangle is the 24 put and 2450 call, or 2450 put 25 call. Depends on which one is at the money. Because GameStop's pre-market is right at 2450. Or worst case, you can do a 24 put 25 call. Doesn't make much of a material difference. I just want exposure to both sides. because I anticipate implied volatility increasing meaningfully between now and the 7th. So regardless of which way the price moves, I anticipate doubling my investment there. As long as the price doesn't move sideways. So Eyes of the Valley, the last 3 earnings, what I've been doing is buying a strangle when the earnings announcement comes out, waiting for the implied volatility to increase, which in turn increases the value of my position, selling the winning side prior to earnings, and then, depending on how earnings goes, sell the losing side, which became a winning side. So effectively, I'm profiting both ways. It's worked out 3 of the last 4 earnings calls, and I'm using this play is in part funded by all the Theta and Vega gains I've been harvesting from GameStop every week. Roughly speaking, I earn 0.7% a week on average for the last almost year and a half now. Oh, absolutely, I'm leaving a bit on the table, but because the liquidity sometimes dries up and my positions are getting larger, I need to give myself a little bit of wiggle room to get in at 2 and out of the trade. It could be either such combination. What's important is that I have both a call and a put on the June 9 expiration, ideally out of the money. But I want to buy as close to at the money as possible, just because that's where Vega is largest. And as a reminder, now that we're approaching June, the Russell 2000 index and all the Russell indices really are resetting and rebalancing. And so we've already identified a short list of tickers that have, 1, outperformed their respective Russell index, 2, have extraordinarily high institutional ownership by institutions which participate in ETF arbitrage. And now the last part, 3, we need to identify the selling pressure as a result of the rebalancing relative to the daily average share volume. Well, the fuck, that depends entirely on how implied volatility jumps at market open. And you have to remember, implied volatility is relative. So an IV of 100 could be low, especially if the IV in the past has gone to 300% or more. Just look at C3AI, for example. Prior to their generative AI announcement, their IV was in the 70s. Now it's 400. Whereas something like SPY, IV used to be like in the 30s, now it's fairly consistently in the mid-20s. And VIX is becoming a poor indicator of market uncertainty. The reason why June 9 charming style is because I want as much exposure to the earnings reports run up as I can. No point doing June 2 because it has no impact from the earnings report. And going the other way, same problem. It's less likely to be affected by the earnings report. And I should emphasize charming style. I intend to sell at least part of the position before the actual earnings report itself, because I want, 1, to avoid IV crush, and 2, to take advantage of IV expansion. Who had that question earlier?
Oh, could you elaborate on what you said before about C3AI's earnings? Why you think it might not be good?
Well, the good news is that we only have, we have less than 300 people around, so let me share a screen. Which screen is it? Small study. Okay, y'all can see this? I'll
Yes.
assume yes.
Yes.
So this is the June 2 expiration for C3 AI. Now if we zoom in a little bit, no, that doesn't help. Try 2 months. Prior to the announcement, they were trading at around 200%. Once they announced the generative AI thing, it skyrocketed to 436. So with C3 AI specifically, what was the price prior to the announcement? So if you had bought a strangle, let's say on the 23rd, it would have been 27. So the put side on the 23rd was about $2.20, and the call side would have been around $2.50. So, okay, they're not showing the Greeks on the call side. Oh, here they are. Okay, so the Vega has been updated. So if we look at the at-the-money Vega, you have 1.3 cents on the put side for every % move in the implied volatility, and same on the call side. So that 200 point move in implied volatility against the 2.6 cents, 6 times 200, that comes out to $5.20 expansion just from implied volatility on the underlying stock. And keep in mind, the price of a strangle prior to the announcement of generative AI was about $5. So just in the uncertainty alone, not even considering the price movement, you've already doubled your money. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me. So the thing you were mentioning before about what they announced before their earnings, you find that
I'm surprised they announced it prior to earnings versus during earnings as part of the forward-looking guidance.
Oh, I see. So you think any upside has been priced in to this point?
It's already high. I don't know what in the face of that news could make it go even higher, especially because the generative AI product does not appear to have many customers.
Hmm.
Yes, my crayons taste better. I wouldn't say straddle is a better bet, Khonshu. The whole point is that there is a known uncertainty, and that known uncertainty will be reflected in a higher implied volatility. One component of an option's price is its vega multiplied by the implied volatility, or the change in implied volatility. And Lorax, I agree. So it may be to your advantage to sell puts at like the $26 strike on C3 AI, depending, or sell even deeper in the money, or deeper out the money puts, or do a buy right. So you sell a $20 call, but you also buy 100 shares at $40. So you'll get the $20 premium, and as long as the price doesn't go below 20, you'll be able to walk away with that. Anyway.
That was great. Thank you, Hardy.
And I know I had mentioned in the past hosting a Q&A. I've been extremely busy the last couple of weeks, so I'm still trying to make time for it. If anyone has suggestions for getting rid of a problematic product manager, I'm all ears.
Replace them with AI.
I tried already. The motherfucker's using AI to try and sound smarter.
I love the AIs.
Surprisingly, no, Stipper, the wedding is 2 weeks from now. So that's a different wedding separately. I did book a Model 3, so I'll get to experiment with full self-driving and see how restarted it is or isn't. Driving in reasonably good summer weather, so not dealing with snow or rain or slick shit. Well, opinion, they were male models.
That's a tough one, Hardy. The only thing I think you could do is create some kind of misalignment between the team and the product manager, which might be inherently damaging. Might not be a good plan.
They've already made a roughly $70,000 mistake, and for whatever reason, they still have their job. So
Jesus Christ!
And this is at a startup, so that kind of fuck usually is fired the next day.
Yeah, they don't have the money to waste, or at least they shouldn't be wasting money on shit like that.
They raised a Series B like a month ago, so they kind of do. That's part of the trouble.
But still, they shouldn't be wasting that money.
I agree. I've already talked to the VCs about it. We'll see if they'll pressure the CEO.
Sorry, I was only halfway listening in, but if we're talking sabotage, hit me in my DMs. I got ideas.
All right, we'll chat. What's there to talk about CrowdStrike earnings, Vistrix? And if it would be easier if we talk, we're happy to bring you up on stage. BVC, all of them. Separately, GameStop would be a decent tech stock to try. If only because of the shenanigans that are allegedly involved. So yeah, that's what I'm focusing on for the next few days. GameStop run up and potential opportunity doing a buy ride on C3 AI.
Great that you can focus on more than one thing, being that is AI, like everyone else in chat. Significant, we haven't talked about Lulu earnings. You want to come up and talk about that? I will pull you up.
Yes, Conrad, GameStop has a price. and it is a target stock for a play. We're not here to predict the price, though.
Guys, are you guys still talking about Tupperware?
Yeah.
Eyes was?
They went
Why?
bankrupt.
So let's see, Lulu. Let's have a look at them. So I'm in a Facebook group called Bougie Baby Banter. Long story, and a lot of the moms are talking about how expensive Lulus have become, and they're all strategizing how to maximize whatever sales they have. So it appears Becky may be foregoing the latest season's refresh.
I've been seeing a lot of men wearing them.
Buy right charming style on C3 AI. So the idea is that you sell a deep in the money call and you simultaneously buy shares in 100 share blocks. So you have collateral for the deep in the money call. The expectation is that the call will be exercised against you toward expiration. However, ideally you want the price to fall down toward your call strike without crossing it. And since IV on C3 AI is so massive, there might be enough meat on the bone in that buy right for the calls. All right, Billy, what you got to say?
Hey guys, I got in here late. I was wondering if anybody talked about playing the CrowdStrike earnings. I know we were just rushed on Lulu there. I don't know. It was got a pretty good. I was talking to somebody in the chat last night. They were calling it the AI play without the IV. I don't know. It feel like they just get up there and say AI a couple hundred times, maybe might get a good jump out of it. So that's my thinking. My play for the day there is grab some calls, hopefully dump them tomorrow morning, make a couple dollars.
Have there been any AI companies to go bust yet?
Plenty
I
of
like the
startups.
idea, by the way, but sorry, Hardy.
Plenty of startups in the AI space. I've already taken on like 6 more AI startups in this VC fund I advise.
And what has driven them going bust? They're
How
Unable to-
expensive leasing A100s and H100s is. Like prior to the release of Llama, you can get them for maybe 75 cents an hour. Now they're going for $2, $3 an hour.
But anything in public markets? Because I don't think we've
Not
heard of
really.
any spectacular. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's going to be consolidation before it goes public. I mean, the volume of IPO deals this year is through the floor. So, not going to happen.
Although Reddit might be one of those companies that does IPO later this year. I wouldn't bet on it, but that's what they're saying.
What are you... what is this, Nervous? You're doing a covered call in Soxel, or you're...
Trying to offload a bunch of SOXL, don't ask, at 1953 cost basis. So I was just thinking weeklies rather than usually I would do monthlies, but maybe
I mean, at that point,
you would do in this case.
just sell deep in the money calls if you have the collateral and your cost of entry. Your cost of the collateral was well below the current price.
Yeah, certainly. Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we have all the viable theses.
What do you guys think of JP Morgan coming out with Invest GPT bot, supposedly?
Didn't they already say they would? It's just rebranded GPT-3 with a different seed prompt. So I'm waiting for someone to jailbreak it that way. Separately, GPT-4 has been so severely kneecapped it's not really worth spending the 3 cents per 1,000 tokens or whatever it costs.
Yeah, I had some weird interactions with the OpenAI interface earlier, and it kept listing things in alphabetical order, and I would say don't list things in alphabetical order, and it would continue to do it in GPT-4. It's very odd.
You should ask it to list things alphabetically by height.
Yeah, if anybody has large data sets, I've noticed that Claude now, Claude 100K, is on Poe.com, and you can put in just set like 75,000 characters.
I don't know. I'm still firmly in the position that there's no real moat for any of these AI companies, and that they'll get commoditized away.
Unless the next generation of language processing models overcomes LLMs. Part of the problem with LLMs is you have to set up the entire model inside RAM in order for it to be fast. Eventually, they'll need to evolve it in such a way that multiple GPUs in a cluster across some sort of network interface can operate the model at scale. And that's something Google was working on as a competitor to LLMs before OpenAI beat them to it. It's unclear to what extent Google has shifted resources from LLMs to whatever else they were working on. And same for Meta. Llama is probably 2 or 3 generations behind their current technology.
Is current technology or the future technology? I mean, won't everyone just catch on how to do it? How to be more cost effective?
In theory, yes. In practice, that hasn't shown itself.
Are you saying there's a kind of a big dispersion between different LLMs that currently exist? The quality is very obvious, I would suppose, or the quality difference.
Well, it's kind of interesting because what happened for Stable Diffusion when it first came out is happening currently to Vicuna, Llama, Wizard, etc. The problem is that Stable Diffusion, I think, is in the hundreds of millions of parameters, while these larger models, while these, for lack of a better term, open source LLMs are in the billions of parameters, so training them is a little more tricky.
All right. Party has given off a lot of plays. I want to hear from other people as well.
Kimar, the
Scald.
music bot only plays cool jazz loops.
That's right. Would you like something else, though?
There's nothing secret about OpenAI sauce taters other than the dataset against which the model was trained. And I think that's something a lot of these AI startups don't mention in the pitch decks, how they intend to train their models. Eyes of the Valley? Sure, why don't you come on up? Talk Tupperware. How do I get you up here?
Up. You can just click on their profile picture and invite. I'm also going to start sticking posts on the subreddit again about these talks. Whenever we've got an interesting speaker, or it doesn't necessarily have to be someone big or famous, just if anyone's got an interesting topic in mind, shoot me a DM, we'll pick a day, we'll make a sticky post, we'll schedule a sticky post. I have a feeling we're going to always trend back to AI. So if we could just avoid that, that would be A1.
AI is what's hot. Prior to AI, it was GameStop, or AMC, or Bed Bath & Beyond, or the Bang ticker.
Eggs were really big last year.
Also true. Then there was the Dole Gang.
Well, opinion, I'm always down to do a uranium talk to the 3 people who want to listen, but I assume you want an audience for some of these.
I like when, I forget who it was talking about Nintendo. That came up a lot.
Oh
yeah, Nintendo guy.
What happened to him?
Yeah, he was also talking about boats or something. Was it Zim?
Tanker Gang? Who remembers Tanker Gang?
Tanker Gang.
Or prior to that, Purple Gang.
I think we should set some of these up as roles, and you just have to submit your trade log to get any particular role for any quote-unquote gang you've been a part of.
So is Banana Gang going to be one of those gangs, opinion? Because I think you're going to have a lot of people.
Well, absolutely. Hey, I remember the day we all dressed up as bananas. It was bananas, to say the least.
I remember when there were Dole Bears. I think they might have gone extinct.
Yeah, there were some people pointing out that Dole's multipliers were subpar compared to some of the other agricultural sector companies. But Banana Gang saw the day.
It looks very appealing to me.
With that be very good, okay, Mongoose. With that being said, it might be time to dig in and reevaluate Dole. It did the thing that a lot of us thought it would do. So at what point does it need reevaluated?
When it stops paying dividends. Wait, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, because Scald, your cost basis is probably close to mine, like on the whole play. Because I know for a fact if it hits 14, like my cost basis is well under $17.50 a share.
Oh, well under 17.
Sorry,
You mean
$7.50.
$7.50. Yeah, I was going to say my
deep in the red.
My haul space hovers around the low $8 range on 1,000 shares. So, yeah,
sorry, Skull. Most of the shares I have come from exercising $2.50 strikes. I want to say my average cost on them was between $4.80 and $5 a share when I entered those calls.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So, I mean, it just keeps paying dividends and it's doing well. I don't know at what point we reevaluate it. I've been keeping an eye on this super El Nino and wondering if that's going to affect pineapple and banana harvest. If you don't know, we're having a super El Nino this year.
Palm oil, that's called.
Palm oil?
El Niños affect palm oil harvest in Indonesia, so you can buy futures against Indonesian palm oil.
Oh. Nice. I didn't know that. Yeah, this year's a super El Nino. It's very, very dry year.
Everybody ready for me to bring the collective IQ down a couple points?
I'm a big fan of Tupperware, so we can go right ahead.
So I've been buying a couple shares of Tupperware here and there. Last week or two, a couple weeks ago, me and Lebowski were actually looking through some of the financials and stuff. It didn't actually look anything spectacular, but the TA on the chart did kind of signify it was going to bottom out pretty soon, which it apparently did. So now we're just riding the wave of upward motion. To be fair, I was actually looking at this as a bankruptcy play, because if you remember what Rad the Reptile kept saying, apparently bankruptcy is one of the most bullish things on the planet today.
Clear all your debt and start from the beginning? Super bullish.
Speaking of bankruptcy, I'd like to talk about my play.
Go ahead.
Is it Bed Bath Beyond?
It is not. It's very close, though. It's its good favorite cousin, BlackBerry.
I'm kind of bullish on BlackBerry, especially if it goes into bankruptcy, because its ticker will be barbecue.
Exactly. This was my number one reason for buying a shit ton of calls for their earnings. Number two reason, it's a software company. So if they don't say AI 9,000 times on their earnings call, they'd have to be pretty fucking stupid.
BlackBerry does car software now, right? Isn't that their thing? Something with car security software?
They do a little bit of everything, but the point is they've got a great name that everybody recognizes, everybody that has money, and it's the AI season right now. You know, it's like altcoin season, Bitcoin season, fucking EV season. Now it's AI season. So anything that's a software company, if they don't say AI 9,000 times, they're fucking idiots.
Some ask, how often should you reevaluate long-term holds? Here's the thing about a long-term hold is that if there's something that could change your thesis on the company, you're going to want to reevaluate it. So some major market condition or major shake-up, like perhaps the executive level of the company, anything that could change your initial thesis as to why you got into that investment, I think it's smart to then take a look at it again, make sure your play still makes sense to you, and then decide whether or not to hold it.
Isn't that almost a direct quote from Peter Lynch?
Yeah, pretty much. I've talked about Peter Lynch a lot. He's, pretty great trader. And that's who I've patterned a lot of my philosophy off of.
So how many tickers do you hold in your portfolio then? Wasn't he a major advocate of only holding like 3 or 4?
Oh no, I hold way more than that because I'm a degenerate gambler.
That's the spirit. He wrote several books, and he's got a whole bunch of YouTube videos.
Yeah, I've only read the book. It's interesting.
He did like an interview or something, and YouTube decided to remix it like in depth.
So nobody's really talking about the chip manufacturing sector much. So I'm kind of looking at ticker UTZ. I'm thinking the June 16, 1750 strike calls.
My caveat with shipbuilders is that due to inland waterways and the eventual large lever of the polar ice cap issue, that as well as what's going on with the Northern Territories, a lot of shipbuilders are changing to smaller fleet orders.
Chip. CHIP. Sorry if I misspoke a little.
It appears that Kramer is now bullish on tech. SQQQ may be the play.
I gotta get a subscription to that guy.
It's Twitter. That's all you need.
Does that mean my June 16, 120 strike calls that I'm short on Google are going to go back out of the money?
UTZ, wasn't that a SPAC?
I don't think they're a... Let me look. I don't think they came out of a SPAC. It's actually a potato chip brand. So I'm serious about looking at them, but I was joking when I called them a chip manufacturer.
No, they were a SPAC.
Sure enough. I did not know that. Interesting. I need to dig into this some more, huh? They're a SPAC that didn't go to absolute hell.
Nope.
They have
Like the only one.
Do they have anything to do with Bill Utt, as Little Billy Utt? His nickname is Utz, the former KBR and Halley CEO, his son, who's now in that business. Out of curiosity.
I'll have to dig into them some more. I've been aware of them forever. They've made potato chips and snack food garbage for as long as I can remember. But I did not realize they came out of a SPAC. That is interesting. Or began being publicly traded as a SPAC is how I should have worded that.
Anybody day trading SPY?
I've given up on that. gives me way too much anxiety. Because like I'll get a good entry and then be watching it and be like, no, I'm gonna milk this a little bit longer, and it's always the wrong way to go.
Oh no. What's the saying? Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered?
Yeah, and sometimes I've made the mistake of like just getting busy at work and then getting decimated by holding it overnight.
Well, in any case, I picked up some puts for SPY last night. Let's see if they print this morning.
Bumblebee,
Wish
a
you
deal
luck.
has been... Both sides have said a deal has been reached, but the details of the deal have not been formally announced. One point of contention that I keep seeing over and over again is that the student debt furlough, or whatever they're calling it, is not going to be extended, which basically means those who have been skipping student debt payments legally for the last 2 years will be forced to bring them current. I have no idea how true this is.
Aren't they also talking back charging on interest for all those years skipped?
That, again, rumor. Not no one knows the actual details of the deals other than the deal makers, and they're being unusually tight-lipped about it. So I think part of the trouble is each side is now trying to sell to their respective party. Hey, this is the deal we got. Cool. So, I don't doubt that the debt ceiling will be raised. It's just what compromises were made in order to get both sides to agree.
I am curious to see what happens in the Senate with the debt ceiling bill. I'm confident it will pass, but I'm wondering if a senator can hold it up for a little bit. Because I know the Senate has some weird procedural stuff where people can slow things down, and if that will potentially happen.
Is that a filibuster?
I don't think it would be a filibuster, because I think they can get to a filibuster-proof majority, but just the Senate's very procedural, and there are just like ways that people can slow bills down, like really. The Senate gets weird. That's why this is like very theoretical. But the Senate is weird, and how like one person can hold something up for a while.
If you'll want to watch a good, quick, fun, humorous video, watch Haggerty did a race between the Lucid Air Sapphire, the Tesla Model S Plaid, and a Bugatti Chiron. Oof. That Tesla got punted, son. Which segues into an actual play. Lucid stock is fucking low. They actually make a pretty decent product. They've got good tech.
Do you think it's gonna be like recession resistant though, if that came about?
Their stuff is more of a luxury item. All their cars they actually hold their value pretty better on a percentage basis than Rivian or Tesla does. If you go on eBay right now and just look at used Tesla Lucid Airs, they're still over 120,000. So I mean, they're holding their value okay. I don't know. I mean, it's a luxury item which usually gets hit in a recession. But it's not a bad company compared to all the other startup EV companies. It's probably one of the better ones, aside from Tesla, of course.
Yeah, I like Rivian too, but I feel like Ford can like easily take over their market share.
Spooky Crunch, I'm not suggesting puts against C3 AI. Implied volatility is already extended, super extended. I'm suggesting buy rights so that you can capture some of that IV crush and the Vega contraction. But you need to do a very deep in the money call. A lot of that is figuring out the premium you earn minus the strike price relative to your cost of collateral.
I don't like Rivian. Their colors are fucking ugly, and they're not super reliable. And funny enough, on the same Haggerty channel, they did a race between, not that races matter for the value of the car, but they did a race between a Rivian SUV, a Porsche Cayenne Turbo, and an Aston Martin SUV, and the Rivian came in dead last, which is like weird for an EV to come in dead last on a quarter-mile race.
Yeah, that's true. I think I saw that their 0 to 60 was like 3 seconds, though. Something like that.
Yeah, the Rivian is substantially slower than an F-150 Lightning or an H1 Hummer, last I saw. So it's, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of Rivians. They look like a Miata had sex with a fucking Honda Ridgeline.
I saw someone driving a Rivian yesterday. That's the extent of my DD. I was shocked that they exist in the wild.
Well, no, I mean I think everybody's kind of made that anecdote that they've seen one, so it's like not like they're insanely popular.
It was funny. I saw the first one I saw was at a Cars and Coffee meet. It was that like tealish green color, and the very next day I saw it on a tow truck. I was like, well, there goes that.
Yeah, like if they I hear people are like waiting like 2 years or something to get on the wait list and finally buy one, and then they have to pay like all this money to get it fixed because they don't have like the customer service you'd expect.
Yeah, I know, for instance, like with Polestar, which is the Chinese EV deal that they're doing with Volvo, the only Polestar dealer that can repair them, at least as of a few months ago, is in Charlotte, North Carolina, for the entire southeast of the United States. So you have one dealer for the entire southeast. And wasn't there some story that broke the news from some vlogger that he waited like 2 years to get his Rivian SUV and then tried to drive it out to his cabin, and like the battery went dead in the fucking snow and he got stuck out there or some shit, and then he had to pay like...
Yeah, that's just what I was referring to. Somebody brought that up here recently, and I just find
that was hilarious.
That's just sad. Someone in the chat asking if they're going to go out of business. I don't think their outlook is like impressive, but they might surprise us.
I mean, they don't really bring anything to the table that everybody else doesn't already have. That's the problem. Like, Tesla has things about them that is unique to Tesla that nobody else has, and the other manufacturers have massive scaling capability. You know, for all of Ford's problems, they are large. They can make a lot of cars. You know.
Well, and the Lightning's half the price of a Rivian, and you have like dealers literally everywhere.
Yeah, well, and you see them, right? Like I saw one
exactly.
at the grocery store. I saw one at the grocery store yesterday with a tow hitch installed on it. Dude was actually towing something with it. I'm sure he didn't get very far, but he was using it like a truck. You know, I mean, they are out there. And the
45
thing,
seconds to
Lucid,
market open.
yes. And you know, and Lucid has good technology. Like their motors and transmissions and stuff are really good.
So puts on Rivian.
Puts on Rivian, calls on Lucid, buy a shit ton of shares of BlackBerry. Calls for like $6 calls for BlackBerry after their earnings are only like 8 cents or something. I mean, it's just throw a gamble, so throw some throwaway money in there. Sue me if I'm fucking wrong. and then listen to every fucking thing Hardy says because he's the smartest motherfucker on here.
Does Rivian qualify for the tax credits? I know that those have become very stingy with who can or can't get them.
I don't know. Well, it's like if it's over, aren't like most EVs like kind of unaffordable?
Market's open. I'm in the strangle at 295. GameStop 24.25 strangle.
Don't miss out on this. Do just whatever Hardy says, fucking do it. Because I watched him do this shit last time with GME, and I was salty I didn't fucking copy him.
Having said that, don't bet more than you're willing to lose. Because while Hardy is a genius, not everything can be 100% perfect.
I agree.
I refuse to acknowledge that. He's always right, and he is perfect, goddammit.
That's
Hardy be
2.9.
wrong once. He only made 30% on the trade when he was expecting to make 100%. It's a very sad day.
What
Yeah,
was the expiration on that, Hardy?
June 9.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get in the other strikes as well at proportional prices, but the market's so fucking thin. Like no one's taking my bids.
I'm all too busy jacking off with the AI portfolios. What I will say though in GameStop is that the new Zelda game, fantastic. And a lot of people bought that shit from GameStop. It's a huge success. Like definitely game of the year.
So I now have strangles laddered from 2350 all the way to 27, matched pairs. Just by the nature of the collateral that I have.
C3 AI is down. Sorry, C3 AI is down 9%.
There we go. Okay.
Will it pump before earnings? So
Unlikely. Implied volatility is quite low. Or rather, it doesn't have higher to go. So the opportunity in expanding implied volatility isn't there. So for the GameStop play, just so anyone else who's going in with me, I am expecting to sell off a good chunk of those positions prior to earnings. Basically, get back as much of my original principal as possible. It's unclear to what extent GameStop's implied volatility will increase by the earnings announcement next Wednesday, but I'm going to milk it for all I can. I already see a lot of calls going across the wire for GameStop, so be advised, a lot of people think it's going to go upsies. I'm happy to play both sides. Oh my god. Anyway. Dell took a dump. What happened? Excellent. Okay. Okay. For those in the back, GameStop June 9 expiration at the money strangle. All my strangles are less than or $3 or less for at the money, and then proportionally lower the further out the money I had to go. And the thesis is that the implied volatility for the June 9 GameStop contracts will continue to go up because GameStop formally announced in a press release last night that their earnings announcement will be on June 7 after market close. And just like that, all my strangles are now profitable. IV is already rising on GameStop. Yeah, fuck you stocks that go boom. Stay in the poor seats. Yeah, that's an accurate payoff, but I think you're modeling implied volatility a little shallow. Employment several. I'm out of that trade, Oniondale. Wherever you are. Market's open. Got my positions. I'm good to go. Does it make a difference, Bumblebee? Yeah, someone can repeat for those in the comments. This is getting a little annoying. The short answer, Bumblebee, is it doesn't make a difference. Strangle is just the same strike. Straddle, different strikes. I prefer... Other way around, sorry. Straddle is the same strike. Strangle are different strikes. But in principle, it's the same. You're long both the call and the put side for the same expiration.
Well, I think these are being recorded, right? So we could always ask people to refer to that.
YouTube?
Yeah. People are lazy.
Well, are these the same plays that you post each night on the...
I haven't been posting lately just because it's so busy, but
okay.
No, this one is special in that we have earnings coming up,
yeah.
And 3 of the last 4 times I've doubled my money, minimum, so with any luck it'll become 4 out of 5.
But anyway, back to how Tupperware is the absolute worst play possible, which makes it the best.
What was your thesis? That it's just ready to go up?
Yeah, actually the thesis was it probably bottom.
Okay. No, I agree with that, but I forget why. So, like, what happened with them that they were going to go through bankruptcy, and now they're not?
Well, Tupperware happens to be one of the most easily generic things on existence. So, like, when you go into Target or something, you see the Target brand Tupperware rather than the Tupperware.
Right.
Not only that, Rubbermaid does a decent amount of competition for them. But technically, they should be at like an inflection point as a company themselves. Like they either need to figure out a new product or they're definitely going to start going bankrupt. So technically, that could be bullish both directions, because so far major companies that decide to go bankrupt have actually doubled or tripled in value. And if they manage to actually like turn around the company, then they'll turn around the company. To be fair, never said it was the best idea.
No, but some things are just born to be meme stocks, and I think Tupperware fits that pretty well.
But like even my illiterate ass could see that the 10Qs were seeming to even out and like level off at the bottom. Not only that, but they have January 17, 2025s, which is usually pretty weird for how low the open interest for all these options are. So it seems like a major player is definitely doing something.
Oh, I wanted to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on Adobe? I've been watching some of the shit they're doing with Photoshop and AI now. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, I hate to jump on the AI bandwagon too, but I think they're going to be one of those next companies that's really going to blow up because of that.
Yeah, their price is still like reasonable. Market cap's reasonable. I mean, looking at what they're doing with Photoshop, I'm pretty sure every single girl on the planet and guy is gonna start using it to manipulate their photos on Instagram left and right. I mean, every guy that sends a dick pic, it's gonna be like a 12-inch dong with your face in the background.
Yeah, I mean,
they'd
if
be doing
you're
it for
able,
abs.
what was that?
I thought they'd be making abs.
Yeah, they're going to do that too,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. I mean, but it's just if you look at the stuff they're doing with the photos, where you take like a photo and then it seamlessly integrates an entire other background into that photo, it's insane what it can do.
Yeah, I've been using non-Adobe apps that are pretty good with AI. Like you can, and I've changed the background and it'll automatically change the lighting on the object as well. So I've deceived so many people. They're like, it's like that. There's something off about this, but it looks real.
Dude, I mean, every person is going to look perfect on their social media now. Like ripped abs, et cetera, et cetera. Like it's going to be.
That's the whole point of social
you're going to
media.
you're going to have a
best
hard
self.
time. Exactly. Like you're going to have a hard time figuring out what's real and what isn't. Like everybody's going to be a catfish.
I've been extensively looking into Adobe for the last week, including a big deep dive we did on Saturday night. Firefly is a big deal. Adobe is positioned to have a fucking bombing, like a boom earnings call. Like they can say all the right things. And as far as like the touching up and not knowing, not true. Firefly actually is going to be digitally signing anything that's created in Firefly as AI generated. And it's going to have an irremovable, non-fungible digital signature. It's not blockchain based, but they have figured out their own way that they have put a signature. Considering it's Photoshop, yeah, I'm not so worried about the duping. That's a Mid-Journey thing.
Well, as far as the actual play goes, I picked up 100 shares this morning at like 409, 410, something like that. Hoping it rebounds back up around the 420 range. I'll probably just hold it in their earnings. We'll see.
420.
Jacked. If you really want to see how many people are positioned, just go look at the June 16 expiry and look at how many contracts are in the money as of the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm sticking to straight AI plays right now. There's some other good stuff out there, but this just feels like EVs about 2 years ago, where pretty much anything that said EV just fucking went up for a solid 6 months.
Oh, you mean Re?
Did somebody say my favorite automotive tech stock?
Oh yeah, I think Hardy was the one that's been investing in Re, right?
No.
I hear lots of people are buying Re.
Re's the next GameStop, according to people on the Meme Stocks channel.
Meme stock channel loves Re.
Yeah.
I guess it's
Scald was into Re, right?
No,
He said he was dollar cost averaging like 100 shares or $100 a day or something.
Simple Vice said something about Re too.
All right, I think it's time I go.
Have a good one, Hardy.
Have a good day, Hardy.
Oh no, did we scare you off?
I figured it was after 9:30. We could start making the IQ a little bit low.
Yeah, that's.
Hardy's like, I made you guys money with an opening trade. If you're gonna talk Re, then I'm done.
Went from regarded to straight retarded. Fuck.
I instantly feel dumber now.
You got to get your Charmeleon costume on, or
It's just an orangutan. I wish I could have found a Charmander suit big enough for me, but it's just an orangutan.
Hey guys, hey.
Good morning.
Morning. So yeah, did you hear about the earning call at 5 p.m. today for AI, right?
No, that's tonight.
Yeah.
I think. No, we heard about it.
Hold on, wait a second. Do you have insider information? Do you work for AI?
No, I don't.
Okay, well go find somebody that does, and then report back to us.
I know. I actually had a question, but I don't know.
You might
I
get
could-
an answer.
Yeah, I was wondering, why do companies sometimes hold earning callings like late, like 5 p.m.? Like I did try finding on the internet, but I didn't find an answer.
Because time zones exist.
Oh, but it's Eastern time, right? Like they are
Okay.
Eastern. Yeah, so
Well, that might be their conference call because usually they'll report the earnings a little bit before that, after the market closes.
oh, okay. I thought like there was a more sinister reason for it.
No, and I
Okay.
think like they always do it like outside of market hours, whether it's pre-market or after hours. But I
Correct. That's like the only time that they won't do it. More specifically, in an attempt to not get accused of market manipulation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah, you're nice. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, their company. This is their one time to shine. Like their time has come. So if they don't get on the earnings call and just blare all kinds of amazingly hopeful things, they're stupid.
And it's hard to not mention AI when your company's name is AI.
Where's Ayod? This feels like his time to shine.
He's stuck in Japan.
Hey, Jay Bourbon's here. The guy that originally recommended Snap to everybody.
And Trupp.
No, I've been talking about C3 AI also since $20.
And Chegg.
But everybody was stuck on some other AI stocks. Like, well, Google was a good play too.
Adobe's still going up just because I said it. I willed it into existence.
They said, "Don't try to get out of this, copper. You're still the Snap guy."
The only thing I invest in is Trump.
You meant Trupp, the pet insurance company?
Yes, the gentleman still talking about. Whatever did happen to that stock?
I gotta run to another meeting. Can you make sure if people need to get on stage that you do it?
If I like them, but yes.
Okay, thanks.
And Trump is up 3%.
Ooh. All right, I'll be back here later. Talk to you.
All right, buddy.
See you.
But yeah, C3 AI, what a freaking rally, man. Everyone's just talking about it now. It was a great time to sell. Of course, if you look at the chart, it hit a high of like, what, 160? So, is it really overbought or not? Maybe in the short term? Can it go higher? It IPO'd at 100.
All I know is if I sold it right now, it's going to rally to become a $1 trillion company tonight.
Yeah, I have a good average on it. Same
Well,
with SoFi.
Copper, take one for the team.
I mean, I'm just trying to make a couple wins on the same level as Bourbon. Bourbon surpassed me in his net worth. We keep an active tracker on whose net value and net worth is higher, and he surpassed me, and so I'm extra salty, and I got to try to catch up.
You could do it, bro.
There's always money in the banana stand.
I gotta say, as a general piece of like life lesson, though, it's you kind of have to, at least in my experience, you have to change your friends out a little bit as you make more money. Like if you're successful and you make a ton of money, it's tough to keep the same group of friends if they're not also kind of keeping up on that. Because human nature, they just get jealous.
Nah, you just don't let them know that you've got more money. You know, you still go to McDonald's with them, even though you might want to go to like Ruth's Chris or whatever.
Dude,
It's
that's
like,
just
yeah, we're
not
going to
my
McDonald's.
that's not my fucking style, dude. My first big win, I bought my 9 foot tall inflatable furry suit and just put my dong on the table, and they can all suck it if they don't like it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's different. That's like buying a house. Of course you had to get the furry suit. That's a given, dude. And if anything, it would have been fiscally irresponsible to not buy the suit.
Yeah, but now they're all jealous of me, and I have to get a whole new set of friends. So I'm just trying to hang out with people like Jay Bourbon now, you know.
Yeah, dude, I spend a fuck ton of money every time I go out, so be ready.
You should hang out with Georgia. He has a whole diamond collection that he just casually brings up.
Blood diamonds.
Dude, I'm still trying to track down Luth. I don't want to dox him. I just want to personally dox him. You know what I'm saying?
So,
sounds like the same thing.
You have to remember, Luce and all the other WallStreetBets mods actually work for Citadel. They're like the janitorial crew, so it's a little tricky to figure out exactly which cleaner they are.
Anyone playing SoFi?
Yeah, I got SoFi shares and calls.
Yeah, I've had shares for a while now.
I've got January 2024 $5 calls that are up 61% right now.
Yep. Everyone's gonna be repaying student loans soon.
Yep.
It's in June, right? If nothing
It's,
gets agreed or passed.
It's like 60 days after the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard talks of, I know Hardy said it's all rumor, but I have heard talks, and Scald brought it up, about them back charging interest too. So people are going to get really screwed if that happens.
What? There's no way they would.
Yeah, the Republicans actually passed a bill in the House to do that. Not to get political, nothing like that, but there was a bill passed in the House that basically the effect of it would be that for the entire time student loan payments have been on pause, that money would be due immediately, plus the interest would have been rolling the entire time as well.
God, I really hope that shit happens.
Yeah,
I just like, I like to see shit burn like that.
As somebody with student loans, I would prefer it didn't happen, but I was kind of against the pause from the beginning, but to be honest, I have benefited from it. So
If they do some type of back payment, we're going to get like an Occupy Wall Street level protest, and it's going to be hilarious.
I think it's the start of the revolution if they do that, if you ask me, but what do I know?
Let's do it, man. I just want to see this shit go down. I'm in.
Police.
No, see,
Americans have lost their appetite for revolution.
No, Gino, I agree with you there.
Americans have been screwed around. They've been screwed over time and time again, and nobody does nothing. Nothing. I mean, you had the biggest election scam in the history of the United States happen in 2016 and again in 2020. Americans did absolutely nothing.
The fucking liberal propaganda, dude.
Liberal propaganda. It's got everyone brainwashed. You're absolutely right.
Americans Georgia tried to do something, but they stopped them.
Don't worry, comrades. Our glorious revolution will come yet. I will personally see to it that my Lord Hugo Chavez takes his rightful place.
The French know how to do it. The French know how to revolt. Like, the French really know what they're doing. They do a good job. Americans, they've lost their appetite for revolution.
No, the French got revolution down, man. It's like every 10 years or something.
Genome,
Isn't that
what's
just
your
how they vote?
I think it's every weekend.
Genome, what's your strike price for those SoFi calls in January 2024?
I have the $5 strikes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And those are, right now, those are up 61%. If they get to 100, then I'll do the half on the double thing and let the rest of them ride. Free roll the rest.
Dockle, if this was a morning show that we cared about an audience, this is a whole bunch of people going back and forth. Like, if you want to come up and chit chat about something, come up and chit chat. Like, this is just a market related area where we all just chill and talk.
Yeah, like people don't realize like 8:30 to 9:30 will be the peak of the audience, and then it'll dwindle down as people get back to work or as the main plays die off.
We do very respectfully ask for complete respect from 8:30 to 9:30 for, like, you know, the morning chit chat, but like after 9:30 it should be anything goes. Other than like, you know, random bullshit political and maybe somebody screaming Trump, but whatever.
Wait, what did you just say?
What?
Yeah.
What's good, buddy?
You haven't been around in a few days, Bourbon. Where you been?
Yeah, I was
Yeah, bro, we
traveling
missed
last
you
week. I was traveling last week. I hope you all made money on the video because that was a check play setup. My Wi-Fi was shaky. My cellular was ass. And I was out and about majority of the day, and, you know, Airbnb to just sleep, basically.
Nice.
And then I got back and then realized Monday was a holiday and I didn't have work, nor was the market open. So it was a very strange feeling. So now, after I blew a ton of money, I need to make some more. So if anyone has some interest in YOLOs, let me know.
Anybody playing the GameStop earnings? I think it got announced last night for June 7th. They got June 9th calls.
Correct. So far, I think the general consensus is straddles and strangles.
Yeah, I got in on Hardy's play.
Yeah, I grabbed one of those. I grabbed a call, but I didn't grab a put yet.
Man, I had to go in the office yesterday. I don't know how people do it every day.
Well, you see, they wake up, they get dressed, possibly brush their teeth and shower, and they hop in
But
their car.
driving an hour each way every
An
day,
hour?
Monday through Friday.
Yo, fucking hour. That's 2 hours out of my day I ain't getting back. You
Dude,
lucky if it's
right?
15-minute drive.
Right, bro? Like, I get 45 minutes if I'm lucky. So I have to go like a few times a week now for the summertime. And the fucking city is just like, once you get like near there, like 20 minutes out, and next thing you know, boom, ton of traffic, and then you get closer, just construction everywhere. Every entry is like closed. It's just like, why? Why am I here? And then to think people do that Monday through Friday ever since, even during COVID, right? Like there's people that have never worked from home. And I have to go in like, a few times a week, and I'm here complaining. Be a drug dealer, don't you still have to drive to make your sales, buddy?
Nah, if you're a drug dealer, they come to you.
Well, you got to expand your market. You got to get to the people that can't get to you, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then
bro. I
you
used to
charge
charge
them a
extra for
premium.
delivery.
Right. My buddy in college had the best setup. He
Okay.
worked at.
I just realized that could be bad.
Yeah, he worked at a Domino's, and then his pizza deliveries would be also drug deliveries.
So it puts on Domino's?
Calls, bro. Can you believe that stock is still ripping?
Yeah, but like if the dude gets arrested on his way to your delivery, he ain't delivering like 7 pizzas.
Yeah, but like he's a pizza delivery guy, so why would he be arrested? You know what I mean?
To be fair, I saw a video one time. This cops arrested this Uber Eats driver while he had an order, and the cops ended up delivering it.
The other pre-portions out all of his drugs, puts them all in the pizza boxes.
There
Cops are
were
delivering them all.
There were some like undercover police agents or snitches, whatever, that would like deliver pizza and stuff, and then they'll try to find out like if you were a drug dealer or had drugs.
Is AMC finally trying to go back to $2? Ooh, I might get some extra premium on these puts.
Speaking of AMC, what's going on with the ape share conversions?
As far as I know, they're waiting for the court case to finalize, and that should be the end of June.
Yoshi! Make any moves, Josh?
I sold my Rocket Lab calls yesterday. That was
You're
the
still
second
playing
time.
Rocket Lab?
No, that was the second time. I made 80% on the first trade and then 30% on the second one. So I'm chilling with that. But right now, I'm kind of looking for plays. I think there's an opportunity with plug power. I haven't really identified it yet, but I feel like coming off a 52-week low, I think last week or the week before, there's got to be some room to the upside. And then I'm also looking for an entry into Carnival or Royal Caribbean.
Plug. Interesting. Yeah, I've been eyeing plug, but it hasn't really done anything.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It popped 5% yesterday, but it's been all over the place recently.
Yeah, I've been looking at Adobe and Lulu. I know Lulu has earnings. Could be a good buy, but depends if you're bullish or bearish.
Adobe has earnings coming up too in the next couple of weeks, and they're poised to say all the right shit.
If they can say AI like 100 times, then we can make some money. Lulu, though, it's been dropping lately, so if you're bullish, you could get in at a good price today. The only problem is talking to a lot of these females, you'll realize they haven't really been buying at Lulu, so. And they're also consumer goods. Huh?
I said Gymshark has taken over.
Yeah, and then that one other place, I forget what it's called, where they buy all their leggings from now.
I'd expect Lululemon to have the same problem as Tupperware. It's too easy to make a generic copy of it.
Atletica is the other one. Isn't that the other one that sells the?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but I mean, the way I see it is like, if the broke chicks weren't buying Lulu before, they're not buying it now. So it's not like the price has really changed.
Well, could also be that the rich people see a cheaper option.
Did Lululemon ever sell off that smart mirror division that they were trying to ditch? Weren't they the ones that own that stand-up mirror that helps you exercise and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that was Peloton.
Peloton has the bikes, but
Yeah,
there's like
this
one
one
of the
they were-
companies. One of the companies had like a mirror that you stand in front of, and it guides you through exercises. I thought it was Lululemon, and I thought they were trying to sell it.
No, I'm actually 70% sure that's Peloton. Because what? Hang on, let me check. Lululemon Studio Mirror.
Whenever's a good time, I want to bitch about the housing market in Orlando.
Oh yeah, how's your housing search going, Josh?
Dude, it's totally fucked, okay? I'm looking at Zillow right now. I have this thing set to show me houses for sale in Orlando under $200,000, and there's exactly 14 houses. Let's see. 9 of them are in the hood. And then anything that's really.
Hold on, you can't be prejudiced against where the house is located. Okay, like that makes you racist if you don't want to live in the hood.
Okay, well these houses are in the highest crime areas of Orlando. I'll say that.
Why do you want to live in Orlando? I have family that lives down there. They always complain about the traffic on I-4. It's like
Yeah,
a
I'm
parking
trying-
lot all the time.
My dude already
Stay
lives
as far east of I-4 as I can.
I don't think you're looking at this from the right perspective. Highest crime level means you can go there and sell drugs and make money.
Right, but then I also have to worry about rival drug dealers taking my money.
Well, that sounds like, dude, it sounds like it's time to sack up and fucking grow a pair. Get yourself some guns and let's get out of here.
Risk and reward.
Risk and reward, my dudes.
SWBI
No, dude,
stock, man.
I could move into a trailer for $90K.
Hell
Smith and
yeah, you
Wesson.
should do that, bro. Trailers are the move, buddy.
Dude, I live in a double wide. What's up? Come at me, bro.
That's what I'm
Low-
saying, bro.
bro,
You got to buy the
low
land,
key-
though. Buy the land,
Low
too.
key, I have been thinking about it. Like, it's been something I'm considering. I'm just having a hard time finding one where I can buy the land as well.
Yeah, you want to buy the land on it, and then you could do some crazy shit.
You're gonna have
with
you're
the
gonna have to
property.
get a little bit out of town. Just go to a county that
Right.
neighbors the county you want to be in, where the taxes are cheaper and the power is cheaper, and then get yourself some land on the edge of the county line. Like I'm technically 2 or 3 counties I guess three counties divorced from the county I work in, but I'm on the edge of that second county's line, so my drive isn't that bad. But it's cheap as fuck where I live. And if you literally go like 2 streets down, their taxes are 3 times mine.
Disney's got a Star Cruiser hotel for sale. They're not going to be using after September, so you might get a good deal on a Star Cruiser hotel.
My only issue with trailers would be like somewhere in Florida where hurricanes can happen a lot. I don't think it's the best place to live in a trailer. Unless
Right.
you go inland a lot, like pretty
So-
far out. But even then.
So in Orlando, by the time the hurricanes come over, usually it's mostly just rain that you have to worry about. That being said, definitely having like hurricane windows and things like that is still a good idea in case you do get some gusts. But no, for the most part, like I know last time, last year when the hurricanes came through, the biggest issue in Orlando was like kind of localized flooding.
So, moral of the story is you haven't found anything.
I mean, there's a whole lot of places for sale. It's just a lot of them aren't really what I'm looking for. You know, it's like
Yeah.
a lot of apartments for sale, a lot of condos for sale. I'm not against a condo or something like that, but I need more than like, you know, I don't want to live in a shoebox.
Bro, my fucking condo I sold, 1 bed, 1 bath. Like, I must have sold it right before it just ripped even more. But yeah, it was like 700 square feet. I had to get the fuck out of there. Just no room to do anything. Like, and then on top of it, it's like over 300K now. I'm just like, how? And it wasn't like a high rise or anything. You know, it's just your typical garden style type of complexes with a shitty HOA, which you're paying like 600 or 500 for each month.
No joke.
That's
If
the
you
other
got-
thing is everything's in a fucking HOA.
Yeah, if you something that's not in an HOA is like an overland camper. If you guys want to see a ridiculous business, go on bringatrailer.com and search for a Ford F550. There's one on there. It's just a fucking Ford F550 with a stupid ass camper shell bolted to the back of it. Just sold for $353,000. You could have fabricated that shit out of fucking titanium for less than that. The market for the people that spend the money on those things, it's not like a supply and demand is driving the price up. It's just they've identified that the idiots that buy them are stooges and they can charge them whatever the fuck they want.
Sucker born every minute.
Well, it's just like I've been on Reddit. I've been looking at a lot of like the trades subreddits, like plumbing and electrical and things like that. Because I figure whatever I get myself into, I'm gonna have some work to do. But no, everybody's like, the people go on like post a quote they got from a contractor, and it's like, this sounds like a lot of money, and everybody in the comments is like, yeah, that's their fuck off price. But if you take it, more power to you.
Yeah, as a contractor myself that doesn't actually want to do the job, that's pretty much what I do. I only do like one or two jobs a year, but I keep my business out there so the IRS, it's like, this is a legitimate business. I am trying to get business, but I just give people quotes of like $20,000, $30,000 for jobs that are really like $8,000. I don't really want to do the work.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I went and looked at this place Tuesday. It was a duplex, so it was half of a duplex, listed at 215,000. Okay, the pictures online made it look like a steal, like, super nice marble tile throughout, whatever, blah blah blah. You get there, bro, mold growing up the fucking walls, the copper, the wall. Walk into the closet, this holding the little like the trap in like half the house. It was so bad.
I just wanted to chime in and say that the shorting of Marvel Technologies, MRVL, which is in the text-based chat, that's working out.
Jim Cramer said that you should buy tech, which means that you could probably short just about any tech company right now and you'll do well.
Dude, you know what else I don't get? Why the fuck would you list your place for sale and list it with an undisclosed address?
Well, that would be so people like don't break a window and spend the night there and start a fire, like in the and I roast some hot dogs in the middle bedroom on a wood floor. You know, so you got to contact the agent. You know, otherwise, very. If you're talking about Orlando too, there's a lot of vacation homes. So yeah, they're empty. People figure they're empty. They go knock on the door a couple times to try to say, "Have you seen my lost cat?" or something. And, makes sense.
What happened to the audio? Hello, anyone there? The sound must have died or something. I don't hear it anymore.
Oh, Spy's finally taking a dump, eh? Look at that baby go. Tupperware going for a retracement. Okay. Maybe pick some more up around 85. AMC really trying to take your shit today. All right. Well, y'all have a good one.
Which one are you talking about, Nicola? Which one are you talking about? So now SoFi is going up almost to 11 or 12%. Marble's down 4 or 5%. So my my calls are my plays for today. Mm, are correct. Mm, mm, mm.
What's going on, Georgia? Is it hot down there yet?
Yeah, I apologize. Took me a while to get back so that I could talk. So what is going on? Hot, is it hot in Georgia? No, it hasn't been hot.
I'm in Michigan and it's gonna hit 90 today, so I figured down by you might be starting to turn up the heat a bit, but not quite yet, huh?
Yeah, it was hot. It was blistering. Worse. It hasn't been that long. So it has changed a little bit. I could just be making that up, but it's kind of what I think. As far as the markets, SoFi is up. There's going to be some money bearish markets. I prefer longer-term calls. It's a great thing to buy and sell a call for 50 or $100, but you gotta trade well. That's all that. As far as personally, that you guys might be interested in, there's a sculptor, and I forget Renoir. I have granite. Granite sculpture is one of the great sculptors in the 18th century started a school. And so this guy is registered. He has signed it. And I don't believe it was a commission piece. So just doing it. For students. Yeah. So I have that. And I had 6 drill pieces. And guys, you like to think like stock market, all those profits can remain. But if this, I had 6. Now I have drill bits for drilling walls. So they're type of, I don't know, it's a type of titanium steel. I want. Anyway, I got them for nothing. New, they're like $600. Big old chunk. 10 pounds. So I got to sell and the sculpture. I don't even know how. I don't know how I'm gonna go about it. I don't know how I'm gonna go. Who's on the ground? Get out of the household. Who's on the ground? Yeah, that my neighbor said. I used to walk my dog. My neighbor said we had video on your dog poop on her. So could you just like have on a leash or just pick up and kind of offensive? It's just laughing. Shaking my head. Yeah. I was kind of laughing to the situation. It's not funny to that. I train my dog with a whistle. And I used to walk about 2 a.m. morning, all around the neighborhood. No, I did that. Walk years and years. You learn it. So I got to take a little truck trip. I like what I'm talking about this time later. Keep doing it. Which is what I normally do. 5 years I did that. Weekly, even bi-weekly basis. But new stuff going on. Then financial tech as well comes to mind. I'm going to look up ticker symbol TIO. I know it's Tango, Indigo, Austria. I don't know what it's doing today. Let's take a look. to pump it up. When you're dealing with like Marvel and stuff, people might refer to pump it up. See, the infrastructure is too large to be yeah, a little bit, but they're scalers on Wall Street, literally in New York City, that causes the prices and their customers. Hmm. Hmm. It's time to go over here and see. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys like heard me. And there you go. The audience is now just dwindling away. I wonder how Hardy's making out. Oh, I can't decide if I really like what he's doing. Or, oh, yeah. There's a hmm. hmm. Hardy should probably make a mutual fund that's called the Hardy Mutual Fund. That that does essentially the type of stuff that he talks about. I think people will buy that. A lot of work. So yeah, I'll show you this Renoir. I think you guys know Renoir. So I'll show you the sculpture and say, 11 o'clock. This is the peak time for stocks. Okay, 11 to 12. So that's the sculpture I was referring to. It's like I used to know about this, but it's signed up here on the sides and all. So that's good. I didn't pay very much for it. I don't think people want to it's just a student make pan out. So I don't probably definitely make money on it because I don't practically pay very much for stuff that I come by. Usually, when I come across something, the guy who's like selling it to me asks me like, "What is it?" So whatever. Mm. Yeah. Also, as far as Orlando goes, I know that I'm not dealing with like people that have like a roll out of money, but when it comes for properties, and I also know that they don't care what I think. But you should take the whatever rock and sand you can, and some sand compacts very well, uh, and you guys have that uh, uh, in Florida because you have the shell type sand. There's movement, the subterranean movement, but there's also certain rocks that you can combine it with, which will reduce or stop the movement. And then there are foundation barriers, which you can put down. Okay, so you're talking like $1,000 or $2,000 to move rocks and sand, and then you're talking about another $1,000 for a um, uh, a barrier. In Florida, what you want to do, okay, is you want to try to build on a hill. Not so much for flooding, but for drainage purposes because of the water table. And you might think that it's associated with flooding, but that's not what you want to do. And if you can get it up a foot, it's not going to cost that much money. But if you can get it up a foot, your house is probably worth, not right away, unless you can sell it, unless you've got the marketing skills. But it's worth 30. It's worth it's going to increase the value by 10%. Because what you'll do is you'll stop the moisture penetration into the foundation, you'll stop the mold, and you stop the dampness. And that's the problem in Florida. The other alternatives is knowing about the wet and dry bulb thermometers. So to take relative humidity, okay, it's what do they call it? Psychrom, PSYCHROM, psychrometrics, and it's how much heat content is found in the air and also in the environment, blah blah blah. But that's also measured, okay, by humidity content. Okay, if you want to know relative humidity, it's also a measurement of the heat BTU, British thermal units of heat content in the air, blah 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 blah. So it's a dry thermometer, and then you have a thermometer that you put a wet sock on. And yes, actually you wet it with water, and then you sling it around and around and around to get air to pass over it to cool it off. And there's calculations you make between the two different readings. That's how you get it's the very early ways of making relative humidity. You still kind of do it today. We have digital stuff today. So why is all that important? Because if you have certain kinds of windows in Florida, you create heat onto the base or to the foundation. Okay. One of the things that you want to do is you want to decrease the heat of the attic or the roof and increase the heat of the base of the foundation. Because what it does is it reduces the overall transference of energy through the building, so forth and so on, via moisture, via actually measurable temperature heat. It's a science. Psychrometrics. Okay. That is the science of it. And if you can do that, the thing is when you start doing this type of stuff, okay, the question is, do you really want to sell? I don't care if it's a double wide or single wide. I don't care if you have a mansion down there. You have to apply these sciences. So if it's measured out well and designed well, you see what I'm saying? It's a long lasting building, which is value. So there you go. If you didn't know. Yeah, we lost like 6 viewers or 6 listeners. I'll just shut up now. Good luck today.